YouTube? It's Seth back with Lost Legion TCG here with a deck profile on Fluffles. I really enjoy this deck. This deck's a lot of fun. I actually picked this deck up for my fiance to get into the game. She ended up not liking the game, and I ended up falling in love with this deck. I have so much fun every time I play it. We'll get right into the profile. We'll start off. We play 3 copies of Fluffal Dog. Fluffal Dog is your searcher on normal or special summon. It adds a Fluffal monster or Edge of Sabers. We play 3 copies of Fluffal Penguin. Fluffal Penguin is personally my favorite Fluffal. It has so much versatility. It allows you to special summon one from hand, so it's a decent normal summon. It's a level 4 water for XZ plays. When it's used for a fusion summon, you get to draw 2 and pitch 1, so it helps you dig into your combo pieces. Those are the only 3 of Fluffles that we played. We used to play 3, but now we only play 2 Fluffal Wings. The card has the potential to just be dead in your hand, and you really don't want it to be, but it is sometimes. We also only play 2 copies of Fluffal Bear. Fluffal Bear pitches itself to search Toy Vendor. Fluffal Wings is your ideal discard off of your Toy Vendor, as it allows you to generate a ton of resources. For the 1 of Fluffles, we play 1 Fluffal Sheep, 1 Fluffal Owl, and 1 Fluffal Dolphin. They all serve niche purposes that you'll search them when you want them. Fluffal Dolphin is one of the new cards. It's pretty decent. It allows you to recycle your toy vendors, and it allows you to recycle your fusion spells. Fluffal Sheep is a free special summon. I've considered bumping Sheep to 2, but I like it where it's at 1. And Owls is a way to get you to fusion summon without needing spell cards. So if you're out of fusion spells, or if you're stuck under like Imperial Order or something like that, you can still fusion summon. It also searches your polymerization on summons, so that's pretty good. That's it for the Fluffal monsters that we play. We do play Edge Imps, obviously, as you need them to fusion summon. We play 3 copies of Edge Imp Chain. Edge Imp Chain is one of the best Edge Imp monsters. It searches for Frightfur cards when it's sent to the graveyard. So you can search your Patchwork, you can search Frightfur Fusion. Those are generally the 2 you're going to search. If you opened Patchwork, you'll search Fusion. If not, you'll probably search Patchwork, because Patchwork is incredible. We play 1 copy of Edge Imp Sabers. This is the one named on most search cards. Most of the search cards in this deck can add Fluffal monsters or Edge Imp Sabers, so you only need to play 1. Plus, you can recur it from your grave to the field, which is why BA used to play it. And then we play 2 copies of Edge Imp Scythe. This is another one of the new cards. This also acts as a hand trap. It allows you to fusion summon on your opponent's turn, which can really help you get through floodgates and such. You can pop back row before they activate it, and I wanted to play 3, but I just kept bricking on it, so we cut it to 2, and so far I like it. We play 1 Artifact Scythe. Scythe is part of one of our win conditions. In the extra deck, we play the Artifact link, so Scythe exists for that. And then the only hand traps we play is 3 copies of Ash Blossom. I wanted to play more hand traps. I wanted to play Ghost Bells and Skullmeisters and all the fun stuff, but Ash is the most generic. It hits the most. It hits rogue meta. It's a really good hand trap right now. It's come back into the format, and I find that it's the best to play if you only have room for 1. That's it for the monsters. We'll get into the spells. 3 copies of Polymerization. One of the last fusion decks to actually play Polymerization, Fluffles. I don't know what to say about this card. It's Polymerization. You should know what this card does if you're watching a Yu-Gi-Oh video. 3 copies of Frightfur Patchwork. We waited so long for this card to come out, and I'm really happy that it finally did. Searches a fusion material and your poly. It adds an Edge Imp monster. You can add Chain, you can add Sabers, whichever one you want. 3 copies of Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor is probably the best card in the deck. You discard a card to draw, and then you reveal it, and if it's a monster, you special summon it. Or if it's a Fluffle, you special summon a monster from your hand. And if not, that card goes to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you search for a Fluffle or a Gem Sabers. The last names we play is 1 copy of Frightful Fusion. You can recur this if you need it. You'll never need more than 1. Most of the time, if you resolve this card, you're about to OTK and win the game. And 1 copy of Frightful Repair. This is for a play with the new fusion. This card's pretty good. You'll mostly use it in grave. 2 special, 1 from hand. We play 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods in order to access our toy vendor search. Just added consistency. More ways to get to Penguin, more ways to get to Dog, more ways to get to whatever it is you need for that particular hand. 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. Forbidden Droplet is one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. It says you can't respond. This card is insane. There are budget options if you can't afford Droplet. You can play Chalice, you can play Impermanence. They both serve much of the same purpose, but Droplet is just way better than both of them. Plus, activating Droplets and sending a toy vendor is nuts. You get to negate and search, it's nuts. And then lastly, the 2 copies of Solemn Strike. I fit Solemn Strike into every deck that I can. This card is insane. It stops a whole lot. People who have played Fluffles in the past might notice that this build seems different. It's because this build is geared to go first and set up interruptions instead of going second and breaking boards. It's a little bit of a different approach, but with the addition of the new cards that came out in Rise of the Duelist, the deck can actually go first pretty well. You can set up like Appaloosa Toad. There's a Calamities play. It's we'll actually show the extra decks, so I'm not just talking about it. We start off with 2 copies of Frightful Cruel Whale. This is the new fusion from Rise of the Duelist that I've mentioned a few times. It's really good. It's the one you'll be summoning first most times. It's a level 9 for Calamities plays. It has generic materials of just an Edge Imp and a Fluffle monster, which in this deck is as generic as you can get. You'll be going into this a lot during the beginning sequences of your plays. 1 copy of Sabertooth. Sabertooth is still here for the OTK with Kraken. Kraken plus Sabertooth is enough damage for game if they have nothing to stop you. Sabertooth on summon also revives a Frightful Fusion, so it allows for extension in that way. You're essentially summoning it pretty much for free if you use a material from hand. And 1 copy of Tiger. Tiger is a board nuke. You'll generally summon your Tiger off of your Frightful Fusion and wipe like 5 cards. It's not the best card, but it does come up, so you have to play it. That's actually it for the fusion monsters. I wanted to play more. I would play 3 of every Frightful Fusion if I could, but just this deck has evolved into something so much more than just fusion summoning. 1 copy of Artifact Dagda. This is to set your Scythe. 1 copy of Cross Sheep. This is for extending. If you play fusions, you should probably play Cross Sheep. It's a free extender. It helps you link climb into Appaloosa. 1 copy of IP Masquerena and the copy of Unicorn to go into. Sometimes you can't get to your full board. That's okay. 1 copy of Appaloosa. This card's really good. Monster negations. You can have 4 of them. Who doesn't like to negate things? Into the XZs, we play 1 copy of Tornado Dragon. This is to pop our Scythe we set with the Dagda. You won't use this combo for every matchup, but against like Virtual Worlds or some of the other decks like Rocket Dragon Link or anything that needs to go into its extra deck, that combo is a game ender because Fluffles have absolutely 0 problems putting damage onto the board. We play 1 copy of Abyss Dweller because Abyss Dweller is still a really good card. We play 1 copy of Bahamut Shark and 1 copy of Toad. You play multiple level 4 waters in the deck and they're all searchable. So the Toad play happens, not as often as you'd like it to, but it does. And the last card in the extra deck is 1 copy of VFD. This card hopefully gets banned. but until this card gets banned, we continue to play it because it's an auto win button. If they don't have droplets or a way to stop your VFD, you win the game the next turn 9 times out of 10. Especially if they're playing a combo deck, which we are in more of a combo meta than we were previously. I think this deck can actually do a lot in the current format, and that's why I decided to showcase it for you today. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and let me know what decks you'd like to see. This has been Seth with Lost Legion TCG. Thanks for watching.